Hi everyone. In this video I'm just going to look back at the piece of work we did together on Tuesday afternoon when we looked at the topic of healthy eating. We had a discussion, watched a video and looked at some leaflets, and we began to put our thoughts down on paper. And what I tried to bring out in the lesson was the use of joining words called connectives to present two sides of an argument. First of all, as I said, we watched a video and then we began to share some thoughts and ideas around two sides of the argument, really. We were thinking about why in some ways it's difficult for us all to eat healthily, and we also thought actually in some ways it should be a lot easier. And we began to group our ideas in a little mind map. Actually we used a bit of mind mapping software, but I've simplified our ideas and I've just put them onto this little slide in a very simple mind map. We began to talk about how busy we all are, so eating more convenience foods than is good for us can be very tempting. There are so many fast food outlets like McDonald's and Pizza Hut that have terrific advertising campaigns to make them seem very tempting. And one or two of you talked a little bit about how young people perhaps may not learn to cook at home in the way that people may have done in the past. On the other hand, there are all sorts of reasons why it should be a lot easier. There's so much more health information around. It's cool now to be able to cook well. There are lots of TV programs about cooking, and it can often be a lot cheaper to cook for yourself and to eat healthily. And what I've done since we worked together on Tuesday, I've tidied up the two paragraphs that we began to put together, and I'd just like to look back at those paragraphs with you to revise how the use of connectives can help to make a piece of writing much more coherent. So one of the first things that we did was to look at how important it is perhaps to write an introductory sentence. In this case, we decided that there are four main reasons why people have poor diets, and we introduced the first one with a connective. Firstly, we lead much busier lives nowadays, and as a result, we may not have enough time for cooking and can come to rely on convenience foods. We saw how that connective links one idea with the other one. Consequently, so we use that connective to start the next sentence, many young people grow up in homes where cooking is no longer a skill where they can learn regularly from their parents. During difficult economic times, people can also tend to comfort eat. You see how that little connective there just links the ideas together in a neat way. Finally, clever TV adverts for fast foods like McDonald's and Pizza Hut have a much more powerful influence on our eating habits than the familiar messages about healthy eating. So we can see there how connectives are used there to link ideas in that paragraph. In the second paragraph, we need to introduce a different set of ideas with a connective like however, which gives the reader a sense of contrast. It signals to the reader that they're about to come up against contrasting ideas. However, in some ways it should be easier for us to have a healthier diet. For example, there is much more health information around in magazines. Trendy cooking programs have also made cooking a much more fun activity. And cooking a proper meal can often be much cheaper than buying a trolley full of convenient foods. So that looks back at how we use connectives to link ideas, and in the next video I'll look at other types of connective and how they can be used to join and link ideas in slightly different ways.